I hope you all are excited for an automation car build, start to finish with parts of it sped up. So today we're going to do a rear engine build GT3 spec, and it's going to be the first rear engine car that I've built. And we're going to watch me struggle through this so that you guys can see the testing phase along with the building phase, what you have to go through. And it's a lot of loading screens. Again, we're going from Automation Car Company Tycoon to BeamNG. I want to race this thing and I want it to feel great. So here we go. Just checking out the bodies. That looked like it could have been a TT Quattro. Enough time for some morphing. So I'm bringing out the sides immediately because I know that for the GT3 spec tires, I'm going to need wider tread than probably the base model can handle. And then if it can't handle it, I'll adjust with offset to get the tires to look nice underneath the wheel wells. So here I'm struggling because all of a sudden it was like it did not want to take any adjustments. So I start messing around frantically. But I wasn't being patient enough, FYI. It was trying to do things. It's starting to look nice. I guess we're kind of going after our Porsche look. I can't say that I'm going to end up with a 911 because it does not look like a 911 when I'm done. Maybe it's close. I don't know. I can't figure out what body it is. I'm not the Porsche connoisseur. I just figured rear engine car. Well, it's got to be a Porsche. I mean, it could have been a Volkswagen, I guess. Maybe the same thing. So we're getting close. Just getting a few little humps out of the way. Yeah, that's looking good. Looking like a true Widowmaker now. Now I'm trying to find this roof. Even though it's right there, I miss it. Because it looks exactly the same as exhaust and everything else. There it is. Why? Alright, now the basics. I always just put the basics on in the beginning. You need a spoiler, a lip in the front so you can add downforce. And since I know that this car is going to be pretty light and we're going to be taking corners fairly fast, I tend to add a couple more pieces of downforce just to keep the car planted in the early phase of tuning. However, we're going to see that I make a mistake, and I'll call out the mistake as I make it. Now, all this is fine. Keeping level downforce, same amount of downforce in the back as the front. So I try to get the pieces in the front and the back the same quantity, the same kind of size. And then I use the sliders in the aero section later on for my beginning phase. I should have taken that diffuser, guys. I'm going to tell you right now, I should have taken it. Now this looks cool. It does. And I probably could have solved the problem via ride height. But that extra lip under there was just adding too much, or it was reducing too much of the front ground clearance. And a lot of my snap oversteer in the beginning phase of me testing and tuning actually relates to that lip scraping the ground. So right now I'm like, wait, what's the cubic inch I'm going after? I did a little digging to figure out, okay, with this naturally aspirated flat six I'm building for this car, I wanted more torque than a naturally aspirated flat six I built for a mid-engine car. Even though it has a high RPM red line and a decent horsepower amount, the torque is just underwhelming to really pull you through those gears. But the torquiness of this engine, once I get done, it ends up being a slight issue. It's the skill gap with how I need to learn to drive rear engine cars. So here I'm looking, okay, 330. So my bar, so I was trying to get up between 400 and 420. So now I'm tweaking things, you know, you get through so that you can see the curve of the power and the curve of the torque, and then start adjusting from here. So I'm just looking to see, okay, how much flow, what's my temperature, can I reduce size? And you can't see this because I run triple monitor, but off to the right there, you'll see I have fuel left to be utilized. So it's telling me to increase compression. And so then I'm like, well, I don't want that high of compression. So then I'm going over and I'm saying, well, let's run leaner. And then what I'm doing with the cam profile is I'm trying to see, okay, where's the peak torque? Where does the engine's peak torque lie? Because with the cam profile, it'll say like, oh, estimated peak torque is this, but you'll notice like I have to almost drop it all the way down to nothing just to get my peak torque to be below 5,000 RPM. So at this point, I realize I'm stuck with 5,000 RPM torque. I'm not gonna bring it back. Maybe VVL, like VVT and VVL can help me, and you'll see that later. So I'm getting to max what this engine current layout can do. And obviously, yeah, you can increase my red line quite a bit. I didn't really gain that much horsepower, and I'm seeing a drastic drop off in torque. So I don't like that. So I'm deciding to come back and revisit. So we're gonna go from dual overhead cam to a single cam. And we're gonna increase to 250 cubic inches instead. So already we're at 392 foot-pounds. So now I'm getting excited. And this is where I noticed that VVT is taking off. So I'm like, okay, let's turn it back on, and boom. Okay, now let's get that torque peak back from 6,000 closer to 5,000. And I'm click happy. I don't know if it's my nerves or what, but they twitch. So I keep clicking inside the slider and moving it. And so if you're wondering, I'm like, where was I? I have no idea. All right, so I'm like, okay, fine, 6,000 RPM. It's okay. We're at 408 foot-pound of torque, you know. Oh, and I start figuring out how to get it closer back. So I'm really liking this engine right now. 611 horsepower, 410 foot-pound of torque. I'm building this car GT3 spec to compete with other cars that are around the same horsepower and I would say varying torque. I have an inline 4 that's the same horsepower, but has 420 foot-pound torque. They all have about the same horsepower. The torque lines are different based on turbo engine, naturally aspirated, supercharged V8. So let's make the engine look a little bit nicer. I just do a little bit of basic stuff, put a little chrome on and some carbon fiber just because it looks nice. I don't know. I like to get in the car and race, obviously. You can tell how fast I rifle through this. Now this is sped up. So yeah, I'm checking the GT3 tire specs for a rear engine car, rear engine, rear wheel drive car. And it's telling me 295, I think 245. I think I accidentally made it 240 there. So now, yeah, getting the offset. So the tires look nice. Vented disc, 6 piston. And I honestly make a mistake here. So I have race pads. You want that bite and for continued wear. But I had the brake bias, more bias in the front. And this is a rear engine car where the rear is planted. It needs more bias in the rear. The front's too light. So a lot of my snap oversteer will also be because of brake bias, as we'll see in the first tuning video. But first I got to try to get this car to not roll. And this was extremely hard. This is the first car that I've had so much trouble trying to get it to not roll. And quite honestly, I'm trying to remember what the issue was. Now here I'm trying to figure out what the distribution is, the weight distribution, and get that right. Now I'm looking and I'm going 2.72 Gs. That's crazy. No way. So I just kind of, I go around and I tweak stuff and I'm looking at the graphs to see how they react to different tweaks. Like, can I get it to stop rolling with something that'll tell me or point me in a direction that will help me with the rest of the car? So yeah, I'm struggling. I think I hit the race preset a couple times and I realized that stuff isn't changing. I put the ride height all the way up. Like, is the suspension compressed too much so it can't do its job? I started adjusting more rear angle. I'm like, do I have too much in the front? Then I start seeing 2.82. And then I clicked that aero thing, and I think that's when I got the clue that it was aero. But I didn't process it fast enough. So I came over here to suspension. But once I clicked off of aero and I kind of saw the curved grass and how ridiculous they were, and I'm like, 2.82, I've never had a car that had a corner G of 2.82 within this spec. And it's weird, like I kind of put the same sized spoilers and aero on that I've put on every other car. No idea why it's 2.82. So I've adjusted the quality down. Sometimes if you adjust it down, it'll help with the roll issue because the tire has too much lateral grip. And so literally the game will be like, oh, too much lateral grip. You need to roll. So we come back, we start messing with offset. We're like, let's give it more camber. Messing with toe in or toe out. And then I start looking at this again. And I'm like, wait, which one's the front? Which one's the rear? Now, with the rear engine car, there's weight over the rear axle. So therefore, you don't need as much downforce in the rear to be planted. So I took a lot of the wings off that I added, and then I started increasing the downforce to compensate for it, to see what would happen. Now, the car's not rolling. Okay, we've gotten somewhere. So I start messing around with this, but you notice how that graph is just shooting up. I start thinking, oh, okay, so I removed the rear wing, but I didn't take any of the excess off of the front. So I decided to come back and take some excess off the front. Okay, we've got some curves that are starting to look more normal. Getting the gearing set for Hirochi long right now. And you can only really get to maybe 170 miles an hour, 175 miles an hour on that straight with the GT3 spec car. At least all the ones that I've built have gotten to maybe 174. But I tuned the gearing to be a little bit over, like 180, 185, maybe 200. I want to be pulling through 174 on that straight. I don't want it to be like, oh, I'm topping out at 174. No, no, no. I want to be pulling through it. I still want something left in the car, especially with how torquey this one is. All right, here we go. I'm sticking with it. I'm pretty sure after this test run, I went on and I told Claude AI, I said, I think I hate this car. I don't know if I want to continue. But stay to the end of this video and you'll figure out that, yeah, we indeed get this car going nice. So we almost had that curve. So the things that I'm noticing while I'm going around this curve is there's quite a bit of bouncing going on in the front end. And also, I went from 225 width in the front to 245. It had suggested to help with snap turn in, and I felt 25 width, the narrower size, was creating too much snap in on those curves. So I increased the width to give me a little bit less snap in. That's what I was thinking here. But I can tell you, honest to God, that lip is scraping and it's causing part of the issue. And the other part is getting the downforce correct. So here we go again. Man, it launches nice though. Planted. Oh, snap oversteer again. Look at those hands throw up. I'm frustrated. Come on, let's go. The thing with testing the car is that's great. I keep restarting at that first curve. But until I get the car to like close to top speed and I really feel what the aero's doing to the car, I have no idea what's going on. Ooh. Yeah, so slamming on the brakes. So I mentioned brake bias where I made a mistake. AI actually suggested that I put more brake bias in the front, and I had to go back to AI, and you'll see this later. And I said, hey, based on every other suggestion you make, wherever I have more traction is where I need the brake bias to be. And I was like, oh yeah, you're right. So I said, I need to flip the brake bias. And it's like, yep, you're absolutely correct. You caught me. So we're getting somewhere. You notice the car shudder, like I'm downshifting when I shouldn't. I'm not used to it. There's a lot of torque immediately. This car idles at 318 foot-pounds of torque, peaks at 411 foot-pounds, and tapers off to 368 foot-pounds of torque. Naturally aspirated. Again, downshift. Didn't need to, but the car does feel a little bit bouncy. It's torquey, it's bouncy. Something's got to give and absorb. Do a little bit of donuts, and then I'm like, all right, let's get out of here. So I figured, all right, well, I know it's bouncy for now. Let me try to reduce the bounciness. We'll go a couple clicks up in the front dampers, and then we'll just export the car. But I forgot that I wanted to make the engine sound a little bit better. trying to get through more of the track. I'm not pushing it. I'm just, okay, let's smoothly go through this and slowly increase speed over time and see what happens. But obviously I like to get on it, so here we go. What happens when I brake hard? I managed through this corner somehow. I must have had the pressure on the throttle and the brake perfect. But right there, I'm like, what the heck? So I go through this quite a bit. Where I get to that turn, you just saw me spin out. Does the same thing. So we're getting further. The car is starting to function and I'm starting to gain hope. Yes, I can probably get this to the finish line. Is it going to be the best car that I can race? Right now, no. Now we just got to get... Yep, lost it. Downshift. So right now, originally what I was thinking, one time I built a mid-engine car and the engine orientation was not this orientation, so rotate it 90 degrees. I can't remember if that's longitudinal or traverse. And it was a V10 in the NSX looking body. And if you just slap it in there and you have it torquey, every time you push the gas, it's a wheelie machine. So I had to 180 the engine so that I had the torque applied correctly to push the front end of the car down. As I'm looking at this engine, I'm realizing I can't really 180 flip it. It wouldn't be rear engine at that point. It'd be on the other side of the car. I'm like, well, that's not it. Because you notice I have a lot of lift in the front tires as I'm accelerating, and I'll figure out how to correct this later. Curves well, but I should be in fourth there. I need to stop downshifting. It's okay for me to go into the lower RPM. I'm so used to racing a bigger spooling turbo where I'm keeping the turbo spooled into the corner and I'm really heavy on the brake. But really with this car, I can just let off the throttle and use the engine braking to my advantage and let it go through all RPM. And I need to start doing that, and I keep forgetting. Got aggressive. When you do a couple successful runs and then you can't get through the first turn, you're like a little bit frustrated. And I say a little bit, it's an understatement. Getting through the curves a lot better though. Still downshifting for whatever reason. Later on in the video, you're going to see my hand go towards the shifter, like I'm going to downshift, and then I won't. But the other vehicles, I have to stay in the power band. There's a power band I'm trying to stay in. I'm not trying to get below it, because then on one of them there's a huge turbo surge. White knuckle it. That's the last spin out there. I'm like, there's something messed up. So, in order to help with the front bouncing, I decided to add rake. So I increased the rear ride height so I had a little bit of rake, so that I have more room for the rear suspension to compress and to handle the torque. So you see, I get a lot less bounce once I added a little bit of rake. And I'm doing the video recording sideways just so I can watch how the car is bouncing up and down. So increasing the rake was helpful. And I also noticed in this video that I'm pretty sure I'm seeing sparks fly off of that lip. So I decide, you know what? Let's increase the overall ride height a couple. And then I give myself just a little more rake, one more tick. Give myself a little bit more damper in the front, a little more bump absorption. The recording messed up for the video that last testing session, but that's when I noticed that the lip was still scraping, and I decided to hell with it, and I just went with something that I can get level with the car. That wasn't sticking out another inch or two underneath. So that's what this is. This is just, let's take that lip off. I kept scraping it and I kept having snap oversteer. It was pretty much the same as what you've been seeing. And then I knew that I needed to do a little bit more tuning because I've changed all the downforce and wanted to get a little more stiffness out of the front. Now I gotta get the curve to look proper. It's probably telling me stuff like the car terminally oversteers or something. But we're very, very close. So I'm realizing, okay, I took too much off. I've got too much in the front, so that we need a little bit more balance. The bias is off, basically your aero bias. You need more front aero and less rear for a rear engine car. So I took too much off, basically, is what I'm trying to tell you. Now I'm just lining it up like, all right, let's make it look good on the car. And if wind would hit it, would it actually do what it's supposed to do? Okay, so now we're at 2.2, which is a little bit excessive. Looking at the percentages, moving dials. This one, I like that graph on the right, that yellow line. I'm trying to get it as smooth as plateaus as I can get. I don't like those little dips. And now we're starting to look good. Increase ride height by quite a bit. I'm going to bring it down. That's what it was before. And then we're going to level this off. So we're at 2 Gs for cornering. And my favorite part, testing. Not bad through the S-curve. Ooh, still having brake bias issues, obviously. I tried to save it. So now I'm checking to see, was it the front that's scraping? And it's finally starting to click that it's probably the brake bias, because it's when I'm braking heavily. I'm going fast and I'm slowing down. So I'm watching the front right now, like what's happening to this car. So I started watching the front, and I think I actually get through the corner. Yeah, I do. Let me get a vertical view so I can see, is the rear trying to race around the front? Like, what's going on? And right there, I'm like, yeah, okay. But I think I downshifted too soon. So we make it into that corner. We make it into the other corner, and I'm just checking, okay. How's the car look? Very squirrely. We're pretty smooth. It's all right. It's feeling better. So I'm thinking, okay, I might have some brake bias issues. Let's go back and do one last little final tune, and then we'll see what happens. So I put the rear rotor size up and reduce the front. I'm going to make some slight aero adjustments. Check my distribution, see if I can't smooth out this curve. Feeling pretty good. Let's try out a lap. Still downshifting for some stupid reason. Whole lot better. If you saw, I was confused. I turned early into the grass. Why? Because I wasn't used to it braking so fast. I was expecting to be further out. So can we get through this curve? Yes, we can. Lay on it. Good, about 170. This turn, yes we can. She's looking good. She's looking good. Got a little squirrely. Still learning the car. A little wobbly there. It has to do with smooth into the brake and out of the throttle and vice versa. Well, whatever. It's time for the first official lap. Let's see what happens. What can this car do? That felt fast. Let's see it. Let's see it. There it is. 116,472. Now, my first GT3 spec car I built ran a 120. Maybe a 119. Mid-engine car. Not bad. Do a little tweaking and time to make it look good. I tend to start with the interior first because I like to get my props in there. So I spend more time on the interior and then getting the steering wheel and gauges, whatnot going. A lot of what's on the outside I tend to be a little bit iffy on, and I might change it a few times over. So it's good to get those prop numbers in the beginning for me. And this takes patience. A couple of these, I think just one of the videos, you'll notice how all of a sudden there's an interior, slightly built interior, where my recording software, I don't know, for whatever reason, decided not to record. So apologies there. The way you can do is, I think, I do have it in 2D. I must have just popped it into 2D, but you can get these in there with 3D and then pop it in 2D. And it'll kind of do its little fill thing. Checking the space thing like 50 times over. So I decided that back doesn't look that right. So I'm like, let's adjust it and get it in. It looks so tiny. It's only a 2-seater. See, this is where I took a break, I came back. Those are wheel wells I used to kind of fill in that space. And then that's a wall right there. And then we've got some floor panels to kind of get that center console going, and another roof to get that front, what would have been an engine bay, but is a trunk now, kind of blocked out so you can't see it. So it's starting to look generally decent back here. I'm like, okay, cool. I like the spacing. It looks all right. Racing seat in there. So I was toggling the body on and off just to see where was it positioned according to the door. You know, when you open your door, where does it look like the seat is? Trying to get the proportions right. Put it down on top of the bad boys right there. I realized they're a little bit too wide, so I move them in. Boom. Little tilt. Looks good. Now I'm probably thinking, all right, let's get the dash, like a little dash and gauge in there. Lining it up. And we're going with like a, you know, painted and carbon fiber theme on the inside. So just trying to have the accent be kind of carbon fiber and fully painted. And now we're trying to just get it to not stick out the windshield. A little OCD action. I'm like, oh shit, that's not straight. Time for the steering column, steering wheel. Now, an easy thing I found to do is you just copy the steering column, change it to a steering wheel, and boom, you don't have to do all of this. Oh, let me get it into the center. So I'm just trying to see, okay, when I'm in my camera, can I see the gauge? Where's the steering wheel? Notice how I delete the steering wheel, and then I adjust the steering column to be a little bit better, and then I'll copy it, and yep, there's your steering wheel. So now I'm just like, all right, just make the steering wheel a little bit smaller so I can see it. There, perfect. And pedals. Same principle applies with the pedals. It makes it so much easier to just copy the fixture. As long as all the pedals are in the same little folder, you copy the fixture, you move it over slightly, and then you change it to be the brake, and then you do the same thing for the clutch. So get it where you want it. Does it look good? Sure. Okay, brake. All right, brake looks good. Clutch. You're done. Little ECU in there, just make it a little bit authentic. Like, this is the one that we plug in for a rally. Just kidding, this isn't a rally vehicle. But I think that might be next. Little ignition button panel. Doesn't hurt, right? Since I have this carbon fiber wall, I just bring the buttons through it so you don't have to get messy with the panel. A little fire extinguisher so we can be safety approved. And time for the shifters. shifter and e-brake. Which as I'm putting the e-brake and the shifter in, I'm realizing, damn, that's a long reach. So I start moving stuff to the left. I take the buttons and I move them to the left. Nobody's reaching that far. And it could just be perspective, but it does look better that it's closer. Then I put the sequential in there, off to the side. Spacing might be a little bogus, but hey, there you go. Starting to like it. Now it's good. Purple trim on the seat. So now I'm thinking it's time for door cards, pillars. Try to make the rest of it look nice. Which isn't as easy. Sometimes you're just like, well, I just got to kind of fill in this space so that you can't really see it if you're like in VR. Make sure it doesn't stick out like on the outside and the exterior, so I don't have all these weird lines. So let's do some pillars. Just in these things can be finicky because like one, you kind of want it to do the 2D stuck to it, but then it'll start sticking out like this and it frustrates the living crap out of me. So I think the end result is like I try making it wider, small, whatever, and I end up, you just have to start it at a certain location so that it didn't wrap. I'm like, okay, fine. So then I'm like, okay, let's put in the roof and then let's see how much space I have. Once you're kind of happy, you hit that 2D button and I'll snap up there. Boom. So I'm like, okay, that's my roof. I'm like, okay, let's extend the pillars up in it. Make it carbon fiber. And this is when I start looking at the door cards and I start noticing that little break in the window. And I'm like, this is a perfect pillar location for me to start like a roll cage, roll bar. I'm going to call it a roll bar because it's not really like a cage. It's just this little hoop. So it's starting to stick out over there. And I'm like, okay. Same issue. Way too long. It's wrapping too much. Make it a little bit shorter and it's fine. And then you finish that with another pillar down there. So I painted it. I'm like, oh, that's looking good. It looks like a big old bar. So then I grab another one, I copy it, and I grab another one, I bring it down, same thing. This one I think I just left in 3D because I'm like, doesn't really need a wrap. Nobody's going to be like getting into that corner. I just need it to kind of touch right here. So that the bar continues down when you look. So I'm thinking, cool. Crossbars. Shouldn't be too bad, right? One mirrored, copy it, and flip it around. You got tubes. So now it's just trying to get it to be circular. On the right size. .116.4 Hirochi long though. GT3 spec, rear engine, rear wheel drive car. Looks like a Porsche a little bit. So there we go. Roll bar is successfully installed. Now we're gonna get to the exterior. A lot of the time these GT3 cars, they have the exhaust coming out right there, right in front of the rear wheel. So I was trying to get that right here. And I was all happy. I was like, oh, that looks pretty cool. I like that, you know. And then I realized, oh, the exhaust is not attached. So I wiggle it around. Does it attach? And I'm like, nope, I got to bring it over here. So this is where the exhaust goes. And we get it set. Boom. Also throw in a little license plate. And taillights. Taillights and headlights, man, they frustrate me. I think it's the worst part about doing a car, to be honest, because it's so hard to get them right. And I feel like with the taillights on this car, somehow I just winged it and I managed to get something where I'm like, that actually looks like the rear end of a Porsche. So you guys can tell me in the comments what you think, but I'm like, oh, wow, that's cool. And I wasn't looking at anything. I was just like, let's use this thin thing and I'm going to see if I can make a smiley face. So I was going to stop there, but then I was like, oh, this bar's here too. Okay, so let's match it up and get it in there. So I'm going, okay, that looks really good for a rear end. Let's get the front. So now here's the thing. That's why I went with the lip in the front, because like the grill doesn't make any sense. I don't need any airflow into my trunk. But those vents on the side right in front of the tires, those make sense. I want airflow into my calipers to make sure that they're not overheating and I can stop. And it's more for aesthetic, you know, for looks, but I'm like, okay, let's do it anyway. And I'm liking these headlights. I'm liking the look of the front end. It's looking aggressive. So I'm like, let's put a shield on for an emblem. And if I could paint these emblems, then yeah, there would be a problem. Because I was like, oh, I'm going to put this emblem down and then I'm going to copy it and I'm going to tilt it one way. I'll paint it another color and I'll tilt it the other way and I'll paint it a different color. And then the result will be 50-50. And I can do like black, yellow or something. And I'm like, well, they don't let you do that. So it's just going to be this chrome shield. Now I'm like, okay, well, I have no oxygen going to my rear engine car. So we need a scoop or something. So I start looking at this Mad Max thing because it's pretty cool. It's a mod that I downloaded recently. So I decided to do the one that has it cut out. These pillars, they look pretty good. Probably not somewhere you would have it cut out, but we're gonna do it anyway. Make carbon fiber. Cool. Rear calipers. Neat. Cooling and venting. So let's get a big old vent in there. There you go. Sucking air right into the caliper. Nice. Okay. Some side mirrors. Some nice thin ones since we're racing. Now I just want to kind of see, is there somebody there? Gotta get in somehow. Not bad, not bad. So how about we put some tubing from those intakes down to where the direct injection is. Now this part's tough. It always looks janky to me. I'm like, well, I need it to be long. Why is everything so short? You're not going to have 50 million pieces. And you see how that clasp all of a sudden is like the widest clasp in the world? Like nobody would use that. That's the part that frustrates me. So I mess around here for a little bit, but then I end up doing something I think that's pretty clever. I'm like, let's do this one. Shorten it up. And now it's time for the animation for the props. So go and copy this over. I'm having trouble with the sequential lever. I think I know what to do. I just haven't really done it yet. I'm just changing the numbers. So, does it look pretty? Steering wheel works. We got gauges. E-brake is working. Still no sequential. Gas pedal works, brake pedal works. And I like having those buttons light up because when I'm racing, it tells me if I'm riding the brake or not. Had to get out and look at it. Would you just look at it? Of course, the license plate bugged out when the export happened. Overall, super happy with this car though. We're gonna take one last final lap and I'm gonna shut up, but let me know what you think in the comments. Again, this is a quick build. It's running 116.4 on Hirochi long, and there's probably nothing crazy with the specs of this car compared to like a GT3 spec car. Now, 116 is not the record for this. Of course, a vanilla modded car can get faster. I think AI brings back 108, 110.